Survive till 25. That was the mantra in 2024. And while well-meaning, the danger of that belief is it's a bit passive. And we want to remain forward-footed in our careers. And one way to do that is to learn from 2024. So in this video, I'll be sharing the 3 most important news bulletins that dropped in the month of December for the entertainment industry and how these may affect your career moving into 2025. If you're new to the channel, my name is Hassiem Muhammad. I'm an award-winning actor. I've been on TV. I've performed on stages around the country. And although I'm not rich or famous yet, I am a working actor who supports themselves as a freelancer. Speaking of being a working actor, The Anchor, an industry publication, dropped a 5-part series last month on the actor crisis. This particular news bulletin I would consider bad news. Essentially what the writer of this article suggests is that the day of the working actor, the working class actor, is over. One of the actors they interviewed for this publication, Dave Higgins from Mike and Molly, said, "I could no longer gamble on getting a regular old acting job to support my family. All that stuff has gone away." They cite some of the causes of this crisis as being shorter seasons on TV, shorter runs of series, more cancellations, fewer studio features, and this is kind of the big one, stars are doing roles that were typically reserved for the working actor. I mean, back in the day, movie stars didn't do TV. In fact, it was frowned upon because, again, that was like working class acting, whatever that is. I'll give you an example. I interviewed Tiffany Little Canfield, who is the head of the Telsey office out of LA. She cast Wicked, major blockbuster for 2024. And something she said when I was speaking to her is about her show Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. And she said, "Yeah, good luck getting a guest star if you don't have a Tony Award." I'm paraphrasing, but she basically that's what she said. What this highlights is just how hard it is to break into some of these roles that we see on television that back in the day, the actors that filled those roles were not stars. In fact, they were the people who you would not recognize on the street. Maybe you look up their IMDb and you can see a long list of credits and you go, whoa, this person's been working. I thought I recognized them, but you don't know their name. You know, those kinds of actors. The Anchor is suggesting that kind of a career has ended. Now, it's not all doom and gloom in this 5-part article. They do have some suggestions on how we move around this. They suggest not living in LA or New York anymore, where rent and cost of living is astronomically high. Finances are typically a major barrier of entry for working class actors and particularly actors who are just starting out. And now with the advent of self-tape, Zoom chemistry reads and such, you don't have to live in these big cities anymore. You can live in Greensboro, North Carolina and send in your self-tape to your rep that is in New York or Los Angeles. They suggest finding community through class. They suggest finding a way to make money online. If you're mobile, that makes it a lot easier to not have to live in these big cities again. And they also suggest building your personal brand. That's another way to make money. It's another way to attract an audience. And if you can attract an audience, then maybe you'll attract more work. My personal opinion, I agree. I think there is an actor crisis. I think the biggest problem is this lack of a star, actually. We say stars are taking roles in TV, but what's really happening is that we don't have movie stars anymore. This younger generation, we don't have it anymore. Obviously, there's a couple. You have the Timothée Chalamets and the Zendayas, but you could probably literally name them. This is not the era of the Tom Cruises where just a name alone are going to put butts in seats. So since we don't have the movie stars, those actors who would typically command some of those roles have moved into television, therefore continuing to push down the totem pole, and folks like you and me, perhaps, who could make a living off of guest stars, now we're fighting over those one-liners. I think that's the major thing plaguing actors today. But my personal opinion is that we need to pivot and create our own work, make our own path forward. The second news bulletin to come out of the month of December, AI voices for dead people. Yes, you heard that right. A commercial came out in December. These commercials are killing me. A commercial came out starring Sammy Davis Jr. and Frank Sinatra. They've been dead for decades. AI replicas were made so that they could star in a commercial along with Snoop Dogg for Still Gin. Ultimately, I think it's more bad news. I think it's not good news that we're having to hang on to stars who have passed away in order to sell products, in order to get butts in seats. I just talked about this a few minutes ago, but I think it's another symptom of the lack of star power and Hollywood's inability to create new stars. It's literally so bad that we're relying on dead people. And how do we do that? Using AI, which is a whole other can of worms, and how AI is playing into our worlds moving forward. Ultimately, AI voices for dead people, I think is bad news. But not to worry, friends, because our third news bulletin coming out of the month of December is good news. In the third quarter of 2024, film production levels were down 5% from the same stretch in 2023, based on a report from Film LA, the official film office of the city and county of Los Angeles. Now you may be saying, wait, the third quarter was down 5% from 2023. How's that good news? It was only down 5%, only down 5%. We got to say it like that because let's be honest, nobody was expecting 2024 to finish as strong as it did. Film production for 2024 had an incredible third quarter. Essentially, and I'm assuming you've all been following this, so sorry to beat a dead horse, but after the strike, a lot of that content, a lot of those films and TV shows and productions that would have come out in 2024 this past year didn't happen. So we saw a lot of the ramifications of the strike occur in 2024. So the fact that we had a reduced amount of production and we're only down 5% in that final quarter. Oh, this is incredible news. This is great news. This is great for the Thrive Till 25 people. It's foreshadowing that 2025 is going to be an incredible year for film and TV production. Wicked, props to you. The year didn't end as badly as we thought it was going to. I feel like I'm sounding really pessimistic, but 2024 was rough. Just ask any agent, manager, publicist, they'll tell you it was rough. My personal belief is that the only constant in our industry, in the world, is change, right? And so when our industry changes, we just need to pivot. A door closed just means it's time to seek for another opening elsewhere. It does not mean it's the end of the road. It just means that's not the road for you to take. And if that sounds a bit more optimistic for you, then I highly recommend you check out a recent interview I did with 911's Sarah Allen on the power of perseverance. Sarah survived cancer, juggling military service, and having a child literally all at the same time, and still found a way to push through and be a working actor. I highly suggest you check it out. Super inspiring story. Of course, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our industry interviews, our Finance for Freelance series, and our future news bulletins. I'm Hassiem Muhammad. Till next time, y'all. Peace.